Hey, this is Travis, and I'm back with another episode in a transparent trading series. Now, I'm going to start this episode off by telling you that I was wrong, and Market Club was right. Well, earlier in one of the last updates, I told you that the stock had changed its mind, changed its direction, and I was changing my mind with it. And I had took my stance from, bearish, neutral to bullish because of the trend line break heroes going up. As you can see, the stock changed its mind again a few days later and started going back down. Now, this is not uncommon. It's one of those things in hindsight, I'm like, oh, it's obvious now looking back after the fact. But I'm glad I recorded my stance earlier so you can see that I was wrong and that I didn't predict this. And this happens sometimes. You are wrong. And so I teach a money management principle so that when you are wrong, you're not punished. You don't lose all of your money when you're wrong. So it could be pretty much summed up. It's a more simplified version is, don't invest your entire account on trades, or don't invest so much money that when you do make a mistake, it hurts your performance too much to where you really can't recover. So I told you, I prepare for the worst, hope for the best. So I wound up losing on those last few trades here, and I'm going to change how I report this and things like that. Before I had broke it out by, my directional bias and each individual trade, how much I made is becoming a little bit too much work to edit this spreadsheet. So I'm just going to do like I do with the Market Club Internet portfolio. I just batch all my trades together and then do month totals. And that way you can see the totals for the month. And here I'll walk you through the different trades, whether they're bullish, bearish, income trade, things like that. So it's easier for me, more efficient for me to prepare these reports for you. So far in November, I don't have the November total here, but here are all the last trades I made. I made a, one directional trade, a call option, and also bought a non-directional trade. And I wound up not a non-directional trade, an income trade, and I wound up losing money on those. So I wound up losing on all my money. So worst case happened again, and I'm still up for the year. So my performance is down now to 11%, which is still okay. It's around my average. So if you think about when this started about 3 months ago, that's about 3.6% return on my money in 1 month, each month. So that's, not the 10% average I had before, but still 3%. I'm not a profit stomp anymore. Most people would die to get 3%, 3.6% on their money each month because they're getting that like each year with inflation, and their mutual funds aren't performing. As a matter of fact, let's take a rabbit trail here, and let's look at the S&P 500 for the year. This is the benchmark that most professional managers track. And so we can see January was about here. And where's the stock at now? All year the stock has been moving, but it's pretty much right where it started the year out, just slightly above it. So those buy and hold investors have sat and watched their account just have all this action. They made money. They lost about 9-10% of it during this drop right here. Then they recovered, they got happy again. So they're going through this emotional roller coaster ride, only to see the year end out flat. So another year, their financial progress is held back. Okay, that's one of the other reasons I like options and why I think options are superior to other forms of investment. Because with options, you don't have to wait, a year. A year is a long time to wait to see whether the system you're using is working or not. That's a long time. But most people, this is pretty much what you see right here that just happened in this year. Multiply that by 40 years, because that's what people generally do. They work for a company 20, 30 years, invest in their 401k. They do what the experts say. And Peter is one of my, friend-tors, a friend and a mentor. Is also one of our tribal members in our program. And he followed that plan. He started in the military. He dollar cost average. He did everything they told him, and he's now near retirement. He said, I'm about $700 and something thousand short of what they said I should have. All those hypothetical examples about if you invest, $200 a month, blah, blah. Fast forward, when you're close to retire, you'll have all these millions of dollars. And he's like, nope, doesn't work. I've done that. So 40 years is a long time to wait to see if your system is broken, to find out your system is broken, because that's a heartache, because you realize you've pretty much wasted. You're going to feel like it's not a waste, but you're going to feel like you wasted most of your life. And I'd say it's not a waste, because Tony Robbins taught me that the experiences that you view as a bad experience if you learn something from it, it's not a bad experience. It's just a learning experience. And so, he helped me reshape the way I thought about these negative experiences I had in my life, or the less than ideal experiences. So going back to what I was saying before, why I feel options are better is because you don't have to wait this long to see if your system is broken. You're getting immediate feedback. So I'm getting immediate feedback. At first, my account was up. I can't remember where it was at the highest, maybe 40%. So now I'm giving back some of those profits. Now I'm down to 11%. So I'm getting immediate feedback to show me that, okay, what I'm doing is working, but in the last few weeks, it's not working as well. So I'm giving back profit. I'm getting immediate feedback so I can make some adjustments, either sit tight in cash because I don't want to lose all this profit, or kind of evaluate the stock and what it's doing. And so I decided to evaluate the stock. Let's come back here to Starbucks again. And what I noticed and what I was saying here in hindsight, let's look back here. Let's pull up a 6-month chart so you can see it a little better. See, the stock went up, then it came back up and started going back down. But when it came back up, it didn't precede its previous high. And this is a conservative stance. Some people do it. It's called resistance. This is resistance. It's the last place the stock had trouble proceeding through. Okay, it's like a ceiling that holds prices up under it. So when the price went up, it touched resistance, it got around resistance, and then resistance held. Stock still couldn't go past here, and then it retraced or came back down. So some traders will wait until a stock breaks through resistance, and then that's their confirmation. They will kind of look at volume and see if volume is higher. That's a conservative stance, just to be extra careful. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It really depends on my confidence in the stock. But as I showed you earlier, Market Club signals had signaled me that, it was going up, plus my own analysis signal. But now looking back, you can see what really happened. It's a stance like here. Stock went, stock was at resistance here. So let's draw this resistance line here. Stock went up, didn't quite get to resistance, and then it fell back down. And so what you can do is draw another little trend line here to see when the upward trend is going to resume. And so we want to touch as many, price highs or price bars as we can. So we would get some kind of confirmation that this downward trend is over around this point right here. It broke through the trend line, started going back up, and then you could get in there, or you could just wait until the stock broke through resistance here. You can see it tested resistance, fell back, came back up, finally tested that price area. Resistance is just a price area. It's not the line I draw on the chart. It's literally just a price area. So the stock tested this price area and then finally broke through, and that could be your final confirmation that, okay, the stock is going back up. And then you can get into whatever particular trade or strategy, use whatever strategy you want. So that's a conservative stance and something I could have done, but I didn't. That was my choice. And sometimes you won't make all the right choices. So you want to optimize so that, again, when you are wrong, it doesn't hurt you that bad. Okay. So that's what I see happening here. If we draw that same, little trend line there, we can see the stock is heading down. And I don't know how long this is going to last. So matter of fact, I won't pause that. While I'm waiting for that to happen, let me come here to the buy and hold portion here. So you can see where buy and hold is at profit loss wise. So profit and loss open $51. So, I am making more money on the active style than buy and hold. Not I was about to say not a whole lot, but about double. Honestly, I've doubled my money with the active style. So I like the way to think about that way. It's not a whole lot. Just forget the dollar amounts for a moment and just think in terms of, doubling percentages. So with this, I'm making $51 with the buy and hold. So as the stock is going down, buy and hold is steadily losing all the money. Okay, so 116.39 divided by what? The $51. The buy and hold profit there. Okay, so $51. So you can see that I have more than doubled. So 228%. So I've more than doubled my money there in the active style. But active style has taken a lot more effort. It's a lot more trades. Buy and hold was one trade, 5 minutes at the beginning, and I haven't fooled with it yet. That's what I like about it. It is so non-stressful. It has some downfalls though. Look at how many I've made with the active style. So you have to determine if this is worth it for you, if all this work is worth doubling your money. It is for me because even all this work still only takes 5-10 minutes. It takes me longer because I'm teaching you and recording this, but it doesn't take a lot of time. If it took a lot of time, I would not be doing it. Thanks to Tim Ferriss, author of the 4 Hour Work Week, I am a lifestyle trader. I want to make money but still have a life. So any trading style that's complicated, takes me a long time, takes me a lot of time. I don't fool with it. Okay, I don't bother with it at all. So again, going back here, I've more than doubled my money with options. And what I said in the beginning, what I alluded to earlier, my performance has suffered. I've lost some of my money. And I teach my students in the training program, the Success Academy, that trading is like working on commission. So much you lose money, so much you make money. It's all over the place. It's like this roller coaster. Some people get emotionally attached to their previous profit. Like they get emotionally attached that the account was up maybe 40%. Then they lose it all. They can't emotionally handle that because they were already emotionally attached to the profit. I am not. I'm like, what? I know trading is like working on commission. I'm going to be up and down, but at the end of the year, I hope to make money. The end of the year is about 3 weeks away. So as long as I hold on to this, I will end the year profitable. Even though I started, really, really late in the year, this portfolio. That's my goal, to make money every year, period. I don't care if it's 1%, 2%, but to never have a losing year. That's my goal. Okay. But anyway, some people can't emotionally handle those fluctuations. They're used to getting a steady paycheck each week, same amount. So you don't realize how you've been emotionally trained to get a set dollar amount each month. So when you become a full-time trader or an investor, your money is all over the place. Some months are great, some months are not. And so you get emotionally distraught without realizing that wise for 30, 40 years, however long you've worked in corporate America, you've been trained to get a set paycheck every single month or a set amount of money. And you bring that mindset over to trading. And I know that because people always send me the questions. How much money do I need to make? How much money do I need to have in my account to make $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month? There's always this even number. They're always shooting for a set amount each month. And I'm like, give it up. You will not make a set amount each month. It's all over the place. At the end of the year, you average out how much you've made each month. But again, it's an average because it's, as you can see here, just in 3 months, I was up, I was down, lost what, 20, 30% of your account? Can you handle that? Losing 20, 30% of your account in a matter of a few weeks? I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm desensitized to it, but just a little tip for you, something that you're going to have to encounter. Now, this video is getting too long here. I always want to make these videos around 20 minutes, but I'll end with these final notes. You already know here the count. I'm still waiting for these orders to get filled here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come back in after I finish recording and go ahead and adjust this, and I'll just pay whatever the price is, 37, 38 cents. But what I want to do is end with a final note of what I said earlier about buy and hold and waiting 40 years to see if your plan works. And with options, you get immediate feedback. And so a lot of people look at options, and because they are wasting assets, meaning they have expiration dates, coming back here to the weeklies, I told you they give zero room for error. It's only 8 days to expiration. Some people will look at that as a bad thing. And I'll say, well, not really. It can be a bad thing, but what this does is force you to deal with reality, the here and now. You can't buy and pray, aka buy and hold, and hope things work out. If your trade is losing money, you can't bury your head in the sand and pray things work out. Options force you to deal with your present reality. I am forced to deal with the present reality is that I only have about $116 profit for the year. I have lost about 20, 30% of whatever gain I have. I am forced now to deal with this reality because options have this expiration where I have to close them out. So either I can make immediate choices to start earning money, or I can immediately lose money. And so again, some people aren't psychologically prepared for that, and that's why they shy away from options. They're used to living in the denial. Buy and hold gives you the benefit of allowing you to live in denial. It's easy to live in denial. It's very hard to deal with your stuff, and it's very hard to deal with the fact that some choices you're making are not helping you. It's tough emotionally. So buy and hold lets you live in that denial. Well, options, you can't live in denial. Either are making money or you're losing money, and you get immediate feedback on that. And this is primarily why I teach my students, you know what? You will become a better trader when you become a better person. Okay. Options reveal so much about yourself, so many personality quirks that you will quickly find out that successful trading It's more than making money and having a good strategy. It's about fixing or working on your personality quirks or any issues that you have with patience, discipline, and things like that. Living in fear, what I talked about earlier. It's about dealing with your stuff, and everybody has stuff, including me. All right. See you. Take care. That's a great point to end it on. I will see you in the next case study update. All right. Bye-bye. Hey, I just want to remind you before you go that if you want to watch the full-length videos, just go on over to tradertravis.com and look for the Transparent Trading Academy links. Now, membership in the Academy is completely free. It's my way of adding value to your life without you having to pay me a dime. And for a limited time, I'm giving away a bonus to all new members. It's called the Hot Stock Formula. This tutorial is going to teach you how to find the top 10 to 20% of all stocks in the market. Again, if you're interested, just go on over to tradertravis.com and sign up for your free membership. You take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.